Hi there, welcome to my very first live ever. I am a wellness and high performance coach. My name is Joanna Jang. And many of my clients come to me when they are struggling with experiencing enough energy in their day. And like I have a wide variety range of clients in 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s. And they all struggle with energy. I think we all do. And so this is a wellness reset where we're going to do a couple of minutes of a self-regulating breath work that's going to immediately going to calm your nervous system and get you more energy, experiencing more energy. And then there's going to be a mini masterclass where I'm going to provide you some hacks so that you can get started on how to increase your energy throughout the day. So let's get to it. So first we're going to do this self-regulating breath work. It's simply 4 soothing, deeper breaths, inhaling through the nose, breathing into the diaphragm, and exhales twice as long as the inhale. So I just want to show you something quickly. So the diaphragm is underneath our lungs and above our belly. So I invite you to just place your hand like right in this area. Because when we breathe through our chest, we're like breathing up to our shoulders, like it's sort of like that movement. And so I invite you to just put your hand right between the bottom of your belly and underneath your lungs and breathe like this. And so you can really feel your hand move when you place it there. And that's going to be a great way to train yourself to breathe into your diaphragm. When we breathe into our diaphragm, we're getting 6 times the amount more oxygen per breath. And when we breathe in, inhaling through the nose, we are increasing nitric oxide by 6 times more potency. So in the mini masterclass, I will share why that is valuable to you. But first, let's get started with the self-regulating breath work. Let's do it together. Inhale 1. And exhale. Inhale 2. And exhale. Inhale 3. And exhale. Last inhale 4. And exhale. Now, if you notice yourself experiencing more elevated levels of anxiety, then take it up to 6 deep breaths, 6 deeper breaths. Inhaling through the nose into the diaphragm, exhales twice as long as the inhales. Yay, we did it. And it's so simple, and it can take less than a minute. But if you notice yourself like shallow breathing, or just feeling really panicked, dysregulated, even just notice yourself really slouching, just take that moment and just reset, and just, it takes less than a moment. Just do those 4 deeper breaths. And this scientifically shifts you into a parasympathetic state. That's when our body can do their work of optimizing our biology, of digestion, repair, detoxification, and building new cells. And when we're in fight and flight state, when we're in stressed fight and flight state, then our cells just shut down the energy from doing the really important work of digestion, detoxification, building and repairing cells, to revert the energy to our extremities, to deal with the dangers in our external environment. And the problem with that is that if we're in chronic stress state, if we're in chronic sympathetic state, then our body is not getting the time, the resources and time it needs to revert the energy back inwards for them to do their functions. And that's really what bio-optimizing is about. And bio-optimizing hacks or methods or techniques or tools or tricks is just it's to optimize our biology. And so that's very relevant for people who want to improve their brain performance and their physical performance, their sales performance, be able to take uncomfortable action, be able to reach their next level. And so as a wellness peak performance coach, this is, what I geek out on. And so I just want to provide you value on watching this video and being able to walk away with some tangible techniques, simple strategies to reduce the overwhelm and increasing your energy throughout the day. So now we're going to enter the mini masterclass part of this video. And but I highly recommend, whenever you notice yourself feeling stressed out, just do that self-regulating breath work that we did together at the beginning of this video. And I highly recommend to save this live recording so that you can refer back to it and just, I oftentimes can do something new when I'm following someone doing it, and I can just follow along until you get that rhythm. And it's also just a great reminder as accountability to do it. And it's deceptively simple. You think, what kind of impact can it have? It has so much impact in like compound dividends in spades. But the key is for us to do it and utilize it and do it on the daily. When we do it consistently, what also happens is that we're training our brain and our nervous system to feel familiar with the activity. And so the reason why that is a very powerful accelerative learning technique is because if we're under stress or duress, our brain and our nervous system are not going to go towards things that are unfamiliar. It's going to go to the things that are already our habit stacks. And so if you do this consistently and you experience benefit, then your brain and your nervous system can revert to it when you're getting that really bad news and it's really dysregulating you. So the number one hack is just to do this self-regulating breath work, the 4 deeper breaths, inhales through the nose into the diaphragm, exhales twice as long as the inhales, 4 times, it takes less than a minute whenever you have awareness that you're feeling stressed. So let's refer back to why inhaling through the nose and why that increases nitric oxide and why that is remotely important. So our nose actually has there are hair follicles and that filters the air. So when we're breathing through our nose, we're actually purifying the air before it enters our lungs and our diaphragms. And it increases nitric oxide production by 6 times. And our body produces nitric oxide naturally, but as we each decade hitting our 30s, 40s, and 50s, it starts to aggressively deplete in natural nitric oxide production. And so one of the ways that we can increase our nitric oxide naturally is through inhaling the nose. And as I've already shared, breathing into the diaphragm, per breath, we get 6 times the amount more oxygen. And our brain, our cells need oxygen to perform optimally. And so by just adding those simple tweaks, we're already compounding the benefits to that breath work. And by compounding those benefits, that's like a tiny habit stack. So in my coaching programs, I'm always habit stacking. And so it's like experiencing those compound dividends per unit of effort to do an activity. And that's how my clients are able to really transform lifelong bad habits, lifestyles that really got them to experience the health conditions where they're experiencing dysregulation, experiencing pain in their bodies, or they're waking up at night because they have to pee 2 times a night or more. And it's really just disrupting their quality of sleep. And I help them be able to reverse all that in a relatively short period of time. And so, like customizing these and other various bio-optimizing hacks, which is, if you've heard of biohacking, it's just a short form for bio-optimizing methods and techniques. And so I thought of like, what's a great way to, make it like visually tangible about energy and how to increase energy. And so I'm going to have some tangible frames. So I invite you to picture like um, some concepts that I'm going to start introducing you to right now. And that is, for one, like every day, each one of us, when we experience, oh, I need more energy, or I feel that dip in energy, we are doing something to refuel ourselves so that we can experience more energy. And we're all doing it. We're very intelligent. And so whenever we feel that dip in energy, we're doing something to increase our energy. And so here's the thing. Most of us are actually going to our go-tos, are we're getting increased energy by dirty sources of fuel. So there's clean fuel and dirty fuel, if you look at it that way. And so a clean lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, a dirty, like an unhealthy lifestyle. And so when we don't have the most optimal lifestyle health habits, when we're children, when our teenage life, in our 20s, have you noticed that, like yourself or what you watching other people? They can people in their 20s and younger, they can just not get enough sleep, not like drink enough water, and they're fine. They don't notice that they can eat all the sugar, carbs they want. Maybe some people experience acne, some people experience weight gain, but people who are just, they're able to just sleep 4 to 6 hours a night, and they're fine, and they look great, their skin looks great, their hair looks great. That is because of our body's natural ability to produce nitric oxide. And nitric oxide in our mitochondria cells, or our mitochondria cells in our body, produces the energy. They're the cells in our body that produces energy. And one of the functions of mitochondria, as they're producing energy in our body, they produce water. And so when we have ample amounts, volumes of quality mitochondria cells and nitric oxide being naturally produced in our body in our childhood, teenage life, and 20s, even if we're not having an optimal lifestyle, our body is kind of, reproducing the energy at high levels because just the sheer volume of mitochondria cells. And because of the natural production of nitric oxide, even if we're not supplying our body optimally, our body's somewhat taking care of itself until we hit our 30s and our 40s, and our external environment of our lifestyle, like a lot of people, they start to build their own business in their 30s, or they start a family in their 30s and 40s. And so now all of a sudden, because of long hours, they're not getting enough sleep, or because of like having children, they're not getting enough sleep for years. And so it's the idea of like, I don't understand. I used to be able to just sleep for 6 hours and be fine, or not rehydrate like 2 liters of filtered mineralized water every day, and I was just fine. And now all of a sudden, I'm not fine. If you look at it this way, it's because the natural biological elements in our body in our 20s and earlier are in plentiful, and in our 30s and 40s and 50s, it starts to drop. And so unless we have that healthy lifestyle, we're not actually supplying like the inventory that our body and cells need in order to thrive. On top of that, our environment, our lifestyle, like a lot of my clients are like, they all have demanding schedules. Some of them are entrepreneurs, some of them corporate, some of them are also parents with young children. So they have a very demanding schedule. But the thing is that by the time we're actually suffering from a lack of energy, we don't correlate that that's a causality from the lifestyle that we've had for decades, that was, some of it was not optimal. And so as a coach, that's what I help them. I help them overhaul lifelong unhealthy habits in a relatively short period of time that really impacts their health and longevity in really significant ways. And it's so powerful to witness, even in my own health journey. And so in this video, I'm going to armor you with some tactical techniques that you can implement today so that beyond this video, you have a roadmap. So, so that's the first concept of just understanding that, like, if you don't have the most healthy lifestyle, like, I'm Asian, like I've been used to eating rice and noodles, not just every day, but literally multiple times a day for decades, just culturally, let alone in North America. And so that's my go-to: sugar, carbs, like carbs, processed carbs is sugar, and then caffeine. And then when I don't get enough sleep, I just take more of them. Those are dirty sources of fuel if you look at it that way. And I didn't drink enough water, let alone filter it, let alone mineralize it. So it wasn't until I was like, oh my gosh, like what's happening with my skin and hair? Oh my gosh, like I need more sugar and caffeine daily now just to get the level of energy and brain performance that I need to function in my life. And so that's usually when clients come to me, is like they're fine in their lifestyle in their 20s until they're hitting, their 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, and now they're suffering. And there's a wide variety. Some clients are they're experiencing pain from chronic inflammation. And so I come in and help them transform their lifestyle and their habits to transform their energy. So the second concept that I want to present to you here to take a look at, because there's so much out there now. Like they say, do this, don't do that, do this, do that. And then there's like really expensive biohacking devices and all these supplements. And it can get so expensive super fast. Blood test, this and like so much stuff. And I'm not saying that they're not valuable, but there's so much you can do free and economically. And so that's what this video is for you. And so the concept, the tangible picture I have for you is, think of it like you're starting a journey of learning how to drive a car. And just to be clear, I ride a bicycle all year long, but I don't, like, I ride it in like 30 degrees Celsius. I ride it bicycle in like minus 15 degrees Celsius. And with, like I with hormesis, like I actually, like I can adapt and I don't feel cold, even though I've got icicles like on my eyelashes type thing, which are other forms of peak performance from biooptimizing. But the point here is, picture like you're going to start learning how to drive a car, and you've got, you have all these gears and shifts, like, and you're just getting all overwhelmed with everything. Just think of two gears that are available to you. And it's like one gear that goes forward and another is the brakes. That's it. Just start with two. And so if you take that tangible picture of just starting with just two gears, your two gears is this strategy: micro consistency. So in this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of biohacks, bio-optimizing hacks that you can start to implement, but don't go and implement all of them and start experiencing overwhelm, or you implement all of them for a day or two and then you stop. Micro consistency wins the game. That's the story of the rabbit and the hare. Micro consistency wins the game. So start with just implementing one tiny habit, and the key is doing it on the daily. Do one small new thing, but do that new small thing every single day until it becomes as normal as breathing. That's when it becomes habit. That's when it becomes automatic. That's when it shifts, the activity shifts from one part of your brain into another part of your brain. And then now you're accessing more energy, because it takes up more energy to start something new, because our brain and our cells are trying to reject that unfamiliar activity because it takes up more energy. But as we stay consistent with it, builds neuroplasticity, then it becomes something that our brain and our nervous system are familiar with, shifts into the automatic part of our brain, and then it takes up less energy. That's a powerful peak performance hack. So start implementing micro consistently. This is what I custom design for my clients, and so that they don't experience overwhelm when they're starting to transform their lifestyle and lifelong habits to increase their energy. So with those frames in mind, just start micro consistently. Out of all the hacks that I'm going to share with you in this video, select one, maybe two new that you're not doing yet, and just do one of them every single day until it becomes automatic. That's it. If you walk away with just that technique and you implement it in all areas of your life, you're going to reduce overwhelm, and you're going to actually stick to things that you started and you quit, and you'll stop behaving that way. And it's going to feel so much more rewarding instead of feeling all that defeat and demotivation. So reduce that overwhelm by implementing micro consistency. So now on that note, let's get to some of the hacks. So first off, when we're talking about increasing energy and going to our go-to for fuel, most of us have go-to dirty sources of fuel for our energy. And so one strategy is to identify what those dirty fuels are and start replacing one dirty fuel source with a clean source of fuel to get that energy. And in my programs with my clients, I really custom design it so they don't have to do any of the thinking and figuring out. And that's how it just becomes so much more of a smoother experience with growth and transforming lifelong habits, which is super hard for many reasons, which I can get into more details in another video. But just to simplify it, just micro consistency and just swap a dirty source of fuel to get that energy with a cleaner source of fuel. So that's one technique. Now, the second concept is understanding we go to fuel to get more energy. So that's inventory for more energy. But what we don't recognize is our energy leaks. So think of a bucket and we're putting in more water. That's the inventory. That's like the sources of fuel for more energy, right? And the water comes in. But then you've got holes in your bucket. And so you're putting a lot of water in, you're getting a lot of nutrients in, you're getting a lot of inventory. But the amount of water that keeps leaking out of the bucket because of all your holes, your energy leaks, it's non-sustainable. It's not efficient. So in my coaching programs, how I help my clients is identifying not only the ways to replace dirty sources of fuel with cleaner sources of fuel to increase energy, but to identify each client's energy leaks specifically and like building a dam, like making and like remedying it so they don't have these leaks anymore. So then they have a bucket and they're filling cleaner sources of fuel for that increased energy, and that energy lasts longer rather than just like putting more in and it just keeps draining out because the energy leaks. So that's another important concept of when you're learning these hacks. Picture what those hacks are doing. One is an inventory source and one is a blocking, like remedying energy leaks source. So having said that, one of the greatest things that you can do to increase energy is get quality sleep. I'm sure you heard this, but how do you do it? So the how-to is really taking a look at your morning routine and your environment to improve your nighttime routine. So in the morning, when you wake up, and you want to get like 7-8 hours of sleep, and then you want those 7-8 hours to be quality sleep. Now, there are Olympic level biohackers that they can get quality sleep. Their Oura Ring tells them so in 6 and 6.5 hours. And I'm like, I believe that. However, a lot of these Olympic level biohackers, they have tons of money to spend on thousands and thousands of dollars on cryo chambers and all these biohacking devices, and they use them, and they use stem cell and peptides and like the top of the line supplements, which are thousands of dollars when you stack them all together, and they eat 100% organically. So unless you have that lifestyle and the budget and those means and those disciplines, they're super disciplined. Like they are biohacking all day and night. And so when they're getting 6 to 6.5 hours of quality sleep, it's because of their lifestyle when they're breathing and awake. So just, I recommend for the everyday person, just aim for that 7, 8 hours of sleep and then improve that sleep, get the quality up as well. But just start with the volume, 7, 8 hours of sleep first. So in the morning, when you wake up, there are important things that you can do within the first 30 minutes of waking or just in the morning that can really increase your energy instantly. One of them is tongue scraping to clear off the bad bacteria and any potential pathogens, and then drinking 500 milliliters of mineralized filtered water. Now, this fact I got from Biohack Your Brain by Kristen Willameve, who is a neuroscientist of the Amen Clinic, where their clients are Olympic athletes and helping their Olympic athletes heal from brain injury. So in her audiobook, Biohack Your Brain, apparently when we consume water, our body prioritizes our brain. And so 250 milliliters of water can actually supply our brain first thing in the morning. But I recommend 500 milliliters of water so that once your brain is supplied, the rest of that, the like large glass of water instead of just a regular glass of water, is to really rehydrate your body and specifically your fascia, the cellular matrix, because that is communicating with all, like every aspect of your body, and you want that properly hydrated. We're made up of 70% water, and so we really want to give proper hydration and clean sources of hydration. We want to mineralize that water. So tongue scraping, 500 milliliters of filtered 500 milliliters of filtered mineralized water within the first 30 minutes of waking, and getting that sunlight either from an SAD light lamp, like if you're in the winter and you don't get like sun every day, or the sunlight, just that direct sunlight on your eyes. I really got this from Andrew Huberman's YouTube video, a neuroscientist from Stanford University, and it really was a game changer. So if you just do those things and do the self-regulating breath work that we just did together at the beginning of this video, you are really going to note, and if you just do this like every single day, every morning for 1 week, come back to me and tell me you're not experiencing more energy. Like, I really believe you will. Every single one of my clients have improved their energy. Some even clear brain fog, and like it's just practically miraculous. So minimally, you will experience more energy. Try it, comment, come back and comment, but do it on the daily. The magic is the consistency, implementing consistently. So give that a shot. That's your morning routine. There's many other things you could do, but just if you just do that, a bonus round is like just getting your lymph flow moving through movement, bouncing, and just there's lymph exercises you can do. So that's the morning routine. The evening routine is just turning off, like, getting off the electronics, switching to like the light to more like candlelit light. Then you can get a red light bulb, you can get blue light blocking glasses, just getting off screens. I 24/7 on my laptop and my mobile phone. I just have it always on night mode so that the blue light is not ever on. It's not only for our eyes and circadian rhythm, it's also for our skin, apparently. So I just do that. And I do really notice a big difference. And also colder temperature, and just being aware like of dysregulation, because if you're really stressed out at night, you're not going to feel safe enough to go to sleep. And so the nighttime routine is just feeling safe, calm, lowering the lights, lowering the screen time, and just really trying to sleep earlier. I'm still working on my sleep hygiene, just being very transparent over here, but just, like my sleep hygiene, what I would improve is sleeping earlier. But I have significantly improved my sleep quality. And the other thing, I mean, research and look into it, but mouth taping has been a game changer for me. And, so just look into that. And some are the nighttime routines. So those are some of the stuff, the hacks that you can do to improve your sleep quality, to improve your to improve your energy. Now, the other things are nutritional, and I'm going to just save that for another video. But obviously, there's things that you can improve in what you consume to increase your energy. However, I'm just going to save that. The other thing, so the first part is just like fuel sources. So the breathing, the sleeping, that like cleaner sources of fuel consuming every day for more energy. The other is the second gear is looking at your energy leaks. So here's the thing with non-optimal lifestyle in our 20s, our teenage life, and then by the time we're 30s, 40s, 50s, with decreased nitric oxide production naturally in our body, with decreased mitochondria cells, then we're like now on deficits and dehydration. And now our cells are really, they're not able to do their work optimally. And that's when we start noticing ailments, aging, age-related diseases, and some people consider aging as a disease, which means they believe it's entirely preventable. So that's like the exciting wild, wild west of biohacking, biooptimizing, longevity, reverse aging. It's so exciting. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've just seen miraculous results in myself and in my clients. And so it's just, I love it. I'm obsessed. I can talk about it forever. But just to keep this video on point is take a look at your energy leaks. So I'm actually going to armor you with some tools here in this video about energy leaks. So on top of the depleted nitric oxide and mitochondrial cells as like each per decade, our stress and how we shallow breathe, tense muscles, that's constricting blood flow, and the dehydration. And with the stress, the chronic stress, if we're experiencing chronically, it can produce chronic cortisol spikes. So cortisol is our hormones. And if we continue to experience chronic cortisol spikes, that can cause chronic inflammation. And then depending on our decades and our lifestyle and all that impact on our body, that's when some of us can start to experience pain in our body. Pain is from chronic inflammation. So these are all the patterns to recognize. So when you think of energy leaks, this is what I'm talking about in terms of identify your energy leaks. And what do? So the key is always be building self-regulating techniques. Why? Because in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot going on in this world. A lot of people are feeling chronic dysregulation. They're stressed all the time with the impact of economics, everything that's going, changes of policies. It's just a very, very stressful time for many, many of us, right? So you always want to be building your resilience through implementing and getting proficient with self-regulating techniques. So I armored you with one. It's deceptively simple, but the key is implementing it consistently. There's methods like the PQ method that you can learn, which is like a deep training on self-regulating and building resilience. But basically the key is like when we are dysregulated, our nervous system, we don't feel safe. Our nervous system doesn't feel safe. And then our cells revert the energy by stopping all of their detoxification, digestion, building new cells and repairing old cells. They stop all of that important work to revert energy to our fight and flight systems. And if that's chronic, then that's where we're going to get zapped energy. So to revert that, we want to stay safe. We want to feel safe. We want to condition our nervous system. It's okay. Everything's okay. We want to put the elevator music on. And so how do we do that? We do that by the self-regulating breath work. There's like butterfly techniques. The breathing, our breathing is right beside our nervous system, our vagal nerve specifically. So a powerful way to block the energy leaks and to feel safer is on top of the self-regulating breath work. It's going to sound so simple, but it's going to make a lot of sense and it's very powerful to implement. So one of it is is we've got lots of polyvagal nerves on the roof of our mouth. So when we place our tongue and feel our tongue onto the top of our mouth palate, I mean, I can't show you, but I'm doing it. It calms our polyvagal. And that's the function of a pacifier for babies. It's the sucking part, but it's filling the top of their mouth palate. And so as adults, in order to calm our nervous system so that our cells are being signaled that everything is safe so that they can go back to work. It's almost like when we're dysregulated, then the cells are getting the signal, oh, shut down. Like go underground. Don't go to work. It's dangerous out there. And our body needs the energy for fight and flight, you know? And if we do that chronically, that's it creating an environment for disease, for chronic inflammation, and then, you know, cortisol spikes, inflammation, and it's a vicious cycle in the wrong direction. So, and those are energy leaks. So we want to stop that. We want to build a dam against that. And one of the most important ways is to calm our nervous system. So we want to get cleaner sources of fuel to increase our energy, replacing our dirty sources of fuel, one gear, and the other gear is identifying energy blocks. And the biggest one is that so many of us do not feel safe all day, all night long. So we want to calm our nervous system. And so covering the top of our mouth palate with our tongue, doing the breath work, doing some tactile. This is a butterfly hug. You can look it up. It signals to our nervous system and our cells. So you can say, I don't feel anything. You might not feel anything right away, but this video is to just share with you that it's not just to talk to yourself, it's to talk to your cells so that your cells can get the signals to go back to work because it's safe enough for them to go back to work. That is a key biohack. Self-regulate to feel safe, breath work, and increase energy by getting more inventory with cleaner sources of fuel. So I hope that's provided you value. There's so many more things I can share, but like anything out there, if it's just so much information, but we don't know how to implement it, our brain will just push it all away. And then we won't actually benefit from the value that information can bring us. So it only can populate and benefit ourselves and our life by us increasing energy if we don't get overwhelmed with the information. So I hope I was thorough enough, and I hope I provided you simple value, like value that's not overwhelming, but actionable. Like, you know what? I actually see the value of that, and I can actually do these specific things. So, I'm very curious, please comment, your takeaway or what you found the most valuable or what you want to learn more of. And I'd be happy to provide that specific information. Or if you have any questions about anything I said, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. If you found this valuable and are interested in learning more, I'm enrolling 2 new clients this month. And so if you're interested in that and starting a conversation, I invite you to click on the link below here on this recorded live so you can book a call. I am always providing friendly reminders to remember to take that soothing, gentle, loving, deeper breath because, babe, you are worth it. And I say this a lot to my clients. Your energy is everything. It's literally everything. Because when you thrive, everything else follows. But if you're like a boat that's sinking and the water keeps flooding in with all the energy leaks and not enough clean sources of fuel inventory, and you're trying to get to a destination, it's it just gets so much more futile. But if you focus on increasing your energy, guarding your energy, blocking those, remedying those energy leaks, boundless energy, boundless possibility. And I've heard it before, but I recently heard it yesterday is, you know, when we're healthy, we have 1,000 dreams, but when we're not healthy, we have only one. And that one dream is to get our health back. And our energy is our barometer of our health. And so I wish for you to increase your energy throughout the day, because believe it or not, that is the gateway to optimizing your health and accessing longevity and like peak performance, brain performance, physical performance, like just all the tools and resources, like internally and physically, to achieve all the goals that you want and deserve. Follow for more, and I'm excited to create another video for you.